Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's Asian Hunter from over here at Pipe Dream Hookah, and today is going to be the first one of them ugly reviews I told you guys that I was going to put out. Now, the packing method isn't out yet. That's a slightly bigger production and involves like taking more than one entire take at a time and editing them, and it's a lot of work, and I'm kind of lazy. So that's going to be like later in the week after I'm done editing it. So if you want to know how I pack this stuff, I will leave some images for you guys. Like right now, it's going to be kind of a fluff pack, maybe more towards a normal pack. Nothing insane. Jim does suggest that you do a fluff pack, but for more full flavor, I recommend that you go towards something more like what you would do with alfalfa. But that said, we should probably talk about the flavor that we're going to be smoking today. We're going to be smoking on Ugly Hookah Tobacco's Happy Hour. The depth ratio thing on here is pretty bad. I bet that's blurry. Yeah, it's blurry when I do that. Okay, so as usual, we're going to judge this based on the scent of the tobacco, the flavor profile, the cloud output, as well as a few other things. But first I want to talk about the name, because it doesn't tell you much about what's in the flavor. It's called Happy Hour. Now when I look at this, I'm like, Happy Hour, is this going to be like Pabst Blue Ribbon flavor? 5 o'clock vodka? No one knows. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what it smells like. I know that smell. I know that smell like the back of my hand. What this smells like is the reason I'm the size that I am. This smells exactly like banana Laffy Taffies. If you've never had a banana Laffy Taffy, it tastes nothing like a banana. The only thing it has in common with a banana is that it's yellow, like a banana. So that's really all I'm getting out of this scent. I'm not going to dive too deep, because if there's anything else in here, it's just being overshadowed by the banana Laffy Taffy. So in order to further judge this flavor, let's go ahead and check out the cloud output. I will go ahead and let you guys know that I have 4 cubes on top of an alpaca rook today. Normally that's a lot of heat. I'm going to go ahead and tell you can use 3 cubes. I like to smoke kind of hot. I'm a 4 cube guy when it comes to ugly. I'll get into that a little bit more when we get into the packing method video that's coming out on some nondescript date, hopefully this week. But let's check out that cloud output. Well, would you look at that? It produces nice, big, puffy, fluffy white clouds. Now, I am going to give you guys a little side note on the cloud output of this tobacco. This tobacco has a lot of flavor. We'll get into that in just a moment. The cloud output for ugly, for me, has not been quite as good as it was way back when they first came around, back when they didn't wash the tobacco leaves and stuff. I was able to get better clouds. There are shisha tobacco brands that will give you better clouds out there. However, when you have heat packed onto it the way that I do, I don't really notice visually a difference in the cloud content, although I think it is a little bit less than something like you would get with Trifecta or Tangiers or even like Mazaya, stuff like that. I think the clouds are going to be better for those brands, but these clouds are just fine. Nothing to like go right home about, but also nothing to turn your nose up at. Let's get on to the most important thing when we're critically analyzing any shisha tobacco, and that's going to be the flavor profile. As usual on this channel, we're going to do it on both the inhale and the exhale, as I find that the flavor profiles between the two tend to differ just a little bit. Let's start with the inhale. As usual, Ugly does a great job of translating the scent of the tobacco into the flavor of the tobacco. What I'm really getting on the inhale is going to be that banana Laffy Taffy flavor. That fake ass banana flavor that everyone puts in all of their banana candies. Now, as far as how that relates to the name, I've got no clue. Maybe he's going for like a 99 bananas type of a mixed drink thing. I'm not sure. As far as any other flavors that I notice on the inhale, it's not really cooling, although this isn't really a warm smoke. It doesn't burn hot or anything like that. So I don't think there's any mint, so keep that in mind. And then I feel like I'm getting a vague citrus flavor as well. That could just be me. I can't really point out what the citrus fruit is, but it has that kind of sharp citrus flavor that you'll get with some of your orange or grapefruit or lemon or lime tobaccos. So with that in mind, let's see if anything changes on the exhale. Alright, so the only changes I'm noticing on the exhale is any of that citrus flavor I thought I might be getting disappears, and it's just straight up banana Laffy Taffy. That's really all I got out of this flavor. There might be some other stuff going on, but I'm so overwhelmed by that awesome banana flavor that I really can't notice anything else. So as far as the flavor profile goes, I'm going to have to go out on a limb and just say this is a banana Laffy Taffy. Exhale, inhale, everything. So before we go ahead and rate this stuff on the 7 scale, like you do when you're looking at the Pipe Dream Hookah videos, let's talk about some other stuff that goes into how this tobacco performs, starting with how it takes heat, and it is too well. Sometimes I have an issue with Ugly where I can't get it to burn at the heat that I want, and that's because this does take a lot of heat to get going. Now, Jim did release a batch, I think it was like 2 months ago, that was really bad. The cut was awful and it was just not cooking, and by the time you got it up to heat, it started to burn. This is not the case with the current batch. With 3 cubes, it might take you 5 to 8 minutes, but it's going to be burning really well. And with 4 cubes, it's pretty much instant. It just starts burning right away, and it doesn't really ever burn. I'm using the term burn where I should be using cook, but it is a double-edged sword. And now it might seem like a bad thing that you need a bunch of heat, but also it's really hard to actually scorch this tobacco, so that's a really good thing. So it's kind of idiot-proof. Just use 3 cubes, maybe 4 if you want to. I wouldn't recommend a heat management device with this tobacco. It just doesn't perform as well in my opinion, although you could try out something like a Lotus if you wanted to. I just don't think you're going to get the same performance that you do with just straight up foil and coal. I might talk a little bit more about that in the packing method video coming up. Next up, let's talk a little bit about longevity. It has it. It does the longevity thing. You can go 2 rounds of coals, no problem, hour and 45 minute to 2 hour session. That's really all we need to say about Ugly tobacco. The flavor is going to be pretty much full until about the hour-and-a-half mark, where you're going to start to notice some of the flavor die down. There's no tobacco notes in Ugly, so it's just going to be a little weaker until eventually it tapers off. The flavor will wear off before the actual cloud content and the smokability actually comes down as well. And let's talk a little bit about head buzz, because head buzz is something that Ugly was kind of known for way back when they first came out, because they didn't wash their tobacco. But if my research is correct and I got my facts straight, I think they actually wash the tobacco leaves now. I'm really not noticing any head buzz at all. This is going to be more like any of your other generic blonde shisha tobaccos, where it's going to give you a little bit of head buzz if you're ripping it or if you put a lot of heat on it, but it's not going to send you spinning or anything. That's not to say this is just a run-of-the-mill blonde tobacco. There's definitely some stuff going on with Ugly, like the flavor profiles are incredibly intense. We'll get into that on the other Ugly tobacco reviews coming up soon, but it's not going to give you a crazy head buzz, so keep that in mind. A lot of people think that Ugly gives you a really good head buzz. Recently, that hasn't been the case. Now, taking all those factors into mind, let's go ahead and rate this stuff on the 7 scale, and I'm going to go out on a limb and just give this a 6 out of 7. The flavor profile is incredible. It's very unique. I haven't had anything like it so far in my shisha tobacco smoking career. And then the longevity is great. Takes heat really well, even though it does take a lot of heat to get going, which I guess could be a negative point. Maybe that's not why it's creeping up into the 7 zone. And like I said, the flavor's great, the clouds are good, the scent, it smells good, it's awesome. I really don't have anything negative to say about this tobacco, except for that you need a lot of coal to burn it, which is kind of a downside for some people who maybe don't keep a ton of coal, or maybe you're not a cube guy. Flats really won't burn this the way that you need to burn it, so I would recommend picking up some cubes. Anyway, that should just about do it for this review. Really quick before I let you off the hook, I do want to remind you guys about the giveaway I have going on. I'm giving away 500 grams of Mazaya and an OG Rook Bowl. A lot like this one, but it's the old OG one. It's in the pink lemonade color, so go check that video out. I'll link it in the description if you want to check out how you can get that stuff. And that said, that's going to about do it. I'm going to end this video now so I don't drag on too long like I always do. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, happy smoking.